Ramones, Blondie, Talking Heads, Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, L-I-E-G-W-B, F-T-R, and the B-Q-E. Bus stops, taxi drivers, walk, ups and high-rises, Dicker Street and Mulberry, and the Staten Island Ferry, Rikers Island, Wall Street, MoMA, Lady Liberty.
Welcome to my show again. Tonight we have an unusual show, and it's something that I've never done before. And in a way, I'm upset about it. Well, sort of upset about it. And in another way, I'm not. And let me explain what the situation is. Tonight we have a couple of guests on our show that were in Sopranos. And I've had about 7 shares. I was supposed to have a panel of 7 people sitting there. And one by one, they started calling up and declining to come on the show. For what reason? I'm going to use the last 2 that declined because they were on my program. And I thought that these guys were friends of mine. They still could be friends of mine if they want. But I'm going to explain something. One guy said, Vinny, I can't come on your show because I heard it was a fundraiser. A fundraiser? What in the world are you talking about? What fundraiser? And to make a long story short, he was just using it as an excuse not to come on the show. So finally, I squeezed it out of him. He goes, well, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to get involved in the controversy, so much controversy. What are you talking about? What controversy?
That's how rumors start.
Did your mother drop you on your head when you were a kid? What kind of controversy are you talking about? Well, I'm not going to stand there and beg him to come on the show. Now, let me explain something about this show. What I'm doing tonight is
show.
Yeah, I'm doing just a little tribute to James Gandolfini. And he is someone that I worked with. He's not someone that we were best friends and we went over each other's houses and hung out. No. I'll tell you how we became a little closer friends. I lent a friend of mine a few dollars, and he had to go to Canada, and he came back, and he called me up and said, Vinny, I just got back in town. Where are you? And I said, we're filming Sopranos around Mulberry Street. He said, I want to come pay you the money I owe him. I lent him $500, no big thing. And so he came down here, and he brought me a box of Cuban cigars. And yeah, and they were, they do them once a year. It's a special edition for Fidel Castro. Now, I don't smoke, so I brought me the box of cigars as a gift, and I'm trying to hide them on a set, and James Gandolfini spotted it. He goes, where the hell did you get those? I said, now you're asking so many questions, you know? So I knew he was a cigar smoker, so I gave him, I did about 5 of them. So it was like 30 in a box. And he really appreciated us. I've had a scene with him. Later, we'll get to that. And then a couple of days later, he said, hey, you got any more of those cigars? So I called up my house. My son came down. I said, how many more do I have left? I didn't have that many. But he brought me down 3 more, and I gave him 3 more. So he remembered my name. So here's a guy. All I'm doing is a little tribute to him passing away. Nothing else but that. It was, there's no fundraiser. And I'll tell you something else. I even had a local newspaper call me up because they seen it on Facebook. And they wanted to do a story on this.
Right.
And I said, no. And they just kept asking me questions. I said, listen, I don't got no time for you. I have nothing to say, and I hung up on them. I want you to understand, I'm not doing this as I'm not doing it as a publicity stunt.
Right.
Because that's not me. That's not what this show is about. And now I also found out through the grapevine that, if it's true or not, I don't know, that someone else from The Sopranos, one of the leads of Sopranos was planning on doing a tribute to James Gandolfini, maybe at a higher level. And now there's another guy, the other guy that canceled that on my show, says, well, you know, I feel a little bit funny about coming on your show. What do you mean you feel funny? Well, a few people called me up and told me I shouldn't do the show. What people? What did they say? I really don't want to get into it. I kind of like, excuse me, I kind of like feel funny about coming on the show. I said, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I really don't. All I'm doing is a little tribute to him. And but you want to know something? I'd much rather deal with a thief. At least I know where they're coming from, rather than a phony. Mm-hmm. So I have nothing to say to those two guys. I really don't. They want to be my friend. They want to say hello to me when they see me. Fine. But, you know, now I know where they're coming from. So we're going to leave it at that.
You came from a good place, Vinny.
You
came
go.
from a very good place.
I have, so as I said, and then when he passed away, I just so happened I was in Jamaica in Montego Bay, and I got word that he passed away. Mm. Now, he was still in Italy, in Rome.
Yeah,
you know,
with his son.
And I tried to find out, like, how much are tickets for me to come back. I would have went to the wake. At the last minute, $375 each way. That's $3,600, that's $750, ground transportation, everything. I would have went for $1,000 and then screw up my vacation. So you know what? I said, when I come back, maybe I'll do a little tribute to him on my show. Now, I've also got a couple of threats.
Oh.
I've had two people call me up. One was a voice and the other one was a voicemail. One guy said, hey, I think you should keep your nose out of wanting to do a tribute to Sopranos and stick to your stupid shows that you have on TV.
Yikes.
Okay, if that makes you happy, say what you got to say. And the other one said, you don't want a problem. You better not do the show. Now, I don't know where these phone calls are coming from. I'm not saying it was one of the Sopranos. It could have been anybody. I don't know. Maybe it could have been just some moron that has nothing else better to do. But whoever it was knew my number. So I said, I put online that I was going to do the show. If I had to do it with empty seats over there, I was going to do the show anyway. You know why? Because I got them like that. That's why. And if anybody out there has anything to say about it, you know what I got to say to you?
Wow.
That's what I got to say. I'm going to
Well,
do
there
the
you
show.
go. There you go, Vinny.
There you go. So now I happen to have two guys
Wonderful guests.
that are on my show tonight that were in Sopranos. And I didn't want to put their names on Facebook because I didn't want anybody to call them up and try to intimidate them not to come on the show. But these are true blue guys, you know what I mean? These are guys that have been my friends for the longest time. Did I introduce you when the show started?
No, you didn't, but that's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's not
this
about
is
me tonight.
Mariana, I'm sorry. My beautiful
Thank
co-host.
you,
I'm
Vinny.
sorry.
Thank you, everyone.
I was just so excited to get
Absolutely.
this all out of
No.
me,
Yes,
you know?
it's totally fine.
And so, you know, I don't know who called. I don't care why they called. I don't want to know who they are. I did the show anyway. And those two were the last two to be taken off the program that I had them on.
Yeah.
So like I said, you want to talk to me when you see me? Fine. But I want you to know one thing. Now I know where you're coming from. Because a friend is someone that you could count on. A friend is someone you could trust, you could talk to, depend on. I know where they're coming from. You want to say hello, how you doing? I wish you a lot of luck. You know, we're going to leave it at that. But these two guys that I have on the show tonight, not only are they friends of mine, they were in Sopranos. Oh, wait, let me tell you something else. Now, with those two guys that declined to come on my show, quote unquote, I was told that maybe one of the people, one of the leads, were planning on having a tribute to James Gandolfini, maybe on HBO or whatever. And let me tell you something. Those two guys that I invited to my show, if they did do a tribute to James Gandolfini, they would never have called them to come up there. They won't even mention their names. And you want to know something? And you know why I'm doing it? Because I was grateful to have a part in Sopranos. And James Gandolfini was my friend. So the hell with what anybody thinks, because I'm here. And as they say, what do I say? Chutzpah? I got chutzpah.
Regardless of anything, you want to show James Gandolfini your respect.
So now these
Regardless
two
of
guys
anything,
that I have on
you
my
want
show
to praise
tonight,
a great
they got 'em
actor.
too.
Yes.
And let me introduce them, and they're two, not only great actors, they're two good friends of mine, and I love them both. We got Frank Albanese and Willie DeMayo. Give them a shout. We all worked with James Gandolfini. We all had scenes with him and all that. And this is the purpose of me doing the show, and for no other reason. And and this I'm going to put on YouTube, so I want everybody out there, and especially those two morons that called me up. I don't care. But you want to know something? Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never harm me. When I die, I'll spit in your eye for all the names you called me. Now, these are the people that I called, the other 7 people to come. They didn't answer my call. They didn't return my calls. They didn't answer my calls. Nothing. But you want to know something? There's an old saying. It doesn't matter if they came to the show or not. Because remember your friends on the way up, because you could bump into them on the way down. And if I see them on the way down, again, that's what I got. There you go.
Well, we have the 2 guests that are supposed to be here.
Now we have the 2
it was
guests
meant to be.
that are supportive
Yes.
of the tribute. I love them both. Again, like I said, Frank Albanese and Willie DeMay. Now, Willie, from what I understand, do we have any footage, or
They couldn't,
there was something
they
wrong
couldn't
with
take
that?
it off of the Soprano tapes for some reason because of the code, so...
Okay, so would you have it on a VHS or something?
No, I had it on DVD tapes, but
On
they
a
couldn't
DVD.
pull it off there.
And it wasn't.
They weren't, for some
You
reason...
want to talk? You
on
want
the
to talk
machine.
about then about your part,
No, I mean, of course, yeah.
please?
Okay, well, first off,
You were in many episodes now.
I was in 10 altogether.
10.
How many?
10 episodes. 10 episodes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I think the guys that are on their way up, those biggies up there, they couldn't come to the show anyway. You know why? Their heads are too big. They couldn't walk through the door.
Oh, but
Yeah.
that's what I don't understand, is that you're doing something special, and
Exactly.
you called on your friends to come on. Just what are we doing? Robbing a bank here? You're doing something
No.
to praise a guy.
I
A
couldn't.
legendary
You know what I'm saying?
actor.
And
yes.
you that too.
Yes.
You're
Then
doing something to
unfortunately
praise
passed away.
someone
Yeah.
who was so much for the underdog that would have loved to be, that you're doing this.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why people wouldn't,
Absolutely.
you're my friend, you call me, you ask me to come on, I'm proud to be a soprano. I didn't have a big role, but for us to be part of a
It
TV
was
show
a
that was the,
principal
groundbreaking TV
It was
show.
a
One of the greatest
principal
shows
role
ever.
we had,
Yes.
And we're grateful for being on the show.
And I'm
Yes.
not going to sit here and say I was best friends with Gandolfini either, but the times I've met him and been in his presence, he's been great. He was a great guy. He always, like, when they had the premiere and stuff like that, when the press came to him, he was always pushing on other people. He was all about the cast. I mean, the guy was great. I mean, no one could say anything bad about James Gandolfini. I mean,
I met him when he was on his motor scooter. I pulled up alongside him. I realized, oh, that's James Gandolfini. I said hello. He goes, hey, Vinny, you got any cigars? I got no cigars.
I mean, Tony Darrow did a roast, a charity event, and James Gandolfini came to support Tony Darrow's roast. And when I tell you, I brought probably about 50 people to this event that Tony Darrow was doing. After the roast, everyone swarmed James Gandolfini. Probably 300 people. 300 people
bet.
were around James Gandolfini. And what he did for his friend Tony Darrow is that he took pictures with 300 people, signed autographs for 300 people, stood there, put his arm around everyone. That's a true friend. He did that for Tony. And not many people would do something like that.
Not
He
at
stood
all.
there, not getting paid or anything like that. We all know how busy. James Gandolfini had a tremendous career. Not only was he a soprano, he was a brilliant actor. Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Always working, did very well. And for him to take time out to go to that and then sit there and talk to everyone and greet everyone, I mean, a lot of guys...
That shows the
you
type
know,
of person he was.
That's what I could say. And
Well-
on another note, I have a lounge called Country Club, and one of my partners was one of James Gandolfini's dearest friends. And when James Gandolfini got married again, he had his party in my place, his after party, and it was a great time. We hung out, drinking, hanging out. It was a great. His wife was there, a whole bunch of people. It was great. He was very supportive of other people. So I mean, I'm happy to be here.
And there's not very many people that would stop and take those pictures, as you said.
No, there
within-
isn't.
We just got done with the San Gennaro feast, and I was with a friend of mine that's in the audience, Mike Vittori, and I walked from Canal Street to Spring Street, and it took me over 3 hours, and it's only 2.5 blocks. Everybody was stopping me, taking pictures, and you know, they all had something to say. And I won't mention their names, what shows they were on, what movies, but you know, you're a nice guy. I tried to take a picture with this one, that time, and that one, and they walk, and trying to talk to them. They're walking. If you want to talk to them, you got to walk with them as they're walking. They won't stop and talk to you.
No, I know.
And then they said, I was signing like the San Gennaro T-shirts, and
No, that's awesome.
my friend came up with an idea. Next year, you got to get a stand. We'll put you in it. We'll have pictures. People take pictures of you. Yeah, I didn't
You'll
mind.
become the Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
No, well, that's just the way you are. And you know, James
Well, there you
Gandolfini was a
go.
huge star, and he was very, you know, with everyone. What a great guy.
Now you have a picture here with not only James Gandolfini, with Tony Sirico. Now I know Tony Sirico 49 years.
Oh, wow.
He's a great guy, Tony Sirico.
Tony
Great guy.
Sirico, well, I won't get into it, but I know Tony Sirico a long time. Am I putting it on the right
You
camera,
are.
Richard?
That was outside of Silver Cup.
Of the Silver Cup
Hey,
Studios.
Silver Cup Studios. That was the scene when James Gandolfini beats up the big muscle guy. I don't know if you remember that really big muscle guy when he came back
got
into
it.
action, and we was shot in Silver Cup Studios. And that day we took the pictures.
All right, so now.
So we have 2 clips?
Yeah, we have a couple of clips, but I think these clips are not yours, all right?
No, my
And I
clips.
think these clips that we have are with Frank Albanese. Now, Frank Albanese in Sopranos, I think you played what, Uncle Pat?
Uncle Pat, yeah.
Uncle
Head
Pat.
maternal uncle.
Now, how many episodes were you in?
4.
4. I think that's
Amazing.
what I was in, 4 or 5. And you were in about 10.
10.
10. Look at that. See? And if they do another Sopranos tribute, they're gonna call us. Our names won't even be mentioned. But you wanna know something? It doesn't matter, because this is going on YouTube, and I'll keep playing reruns. And everybody will get to know who we are more than they're gonna get to see them on the on a cable station. You have a couple of clips, right?
Yep.
Okay, can we run those clips?
Tell him you got a call. Jimmy Patriel, Brooklyn.
Hello.
It's me.
A tennis match with those guys. My guy won.
Oh, yeah?
The other one, the son, he dropped out.
What, he got hurt?
Nothing like that. It's settled, that's all.
All right. Little Carmine's out.
He's dead?
Seems like him and Johnny worked out a deal.
Yay!
Okay, okay.
Oh, there he is.
God, I don't believe it.
What's that, Anthony? What's the matter? You all right?
God, you're big. Oh. Look at those shoulders.
Jan sends her love. And Bob, too.
Did you eat?
Louise, don't ask him. He's a guest. Just go get him a plate. Sit down.
You look good.
Feel good.
All right. So, you know, we all were grateful for having, you know, for being part of Sopranos. And I don't think that I'd done anything wrong.
Hell no.
And,
Not at all. Not at all.
And I've had so much on my Facebook. People are telling me, Vinny, go right ahead, do the show. I'll back you up. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. The hell with what people think. I got all great response.
Well,
Now,
even the attendance we have
and
today.
the attendance I got today.
All the supporters we
I
have
gotta-
today.
I gotta thank my audience.
Absolutely.
And so I'm pretty grateful for all of that, And so we showed your clips, yeah? Because I can't see everything in my way over here. Okay.
What were each of your initial reactions when you first found out that you were cast as part of the
I was
Sopranos?
elated, to say the least, because I thought it was a great show. They said it was the greatest series in HBO
TV history, yeah.
So
But you were also in The Godfather too, right?
Godfather 1, Godfather 3, Goodfellas. And I played Paul Castellano twice on television.
Incredible.
I got the biggies on my show.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
Look
I
at
got
that.
the biggies on my
Yes,
show.
you do.
And plus Willie. Not only, Willie has done Analyze.
That.
You were in that, yeah, that's right.
Analyze
We
That.
both
You were
did
in this and that,
I was
and
in
he's
this
that.
and that. Right. And you were in that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Boss of Bosses, Wannabes, the new movie
Yeah,
we
we've
just had out,
done.
Once Upon a
How
Time
many
in
movies
Brooklyn.
have I been in that you've done?
We did Wannabes together,
Wannabes?
and we did Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and we did Sopranos together, and we did Analyze That. We were on four
About
sets
4
together.
movies. Already.
And I'm sure having The Sopranos on your resume really helped to pave the way for.
When I got that phone call, I was ecstatic because through all the years of The Sopranos happening, where I went, people would
Did
be
you
like,
audition for that? No.
I auditioned, a few different times. I went
For Sopranos?
Yeah, a few
Ah.
different
How
times.
was the audition process for it?
Well, it was the audition well, it was nerve-wracking because
I'm sure.
everyone and their mother wanted to be on the show. I mean, and
Sure.
I always was right there every time. And then when I got the phone call, I mean, I would hear it from everybody. How come you're not on The Sopranos? For 3 years, everywhere I went. How come you're not on that show? How come you're not on that show? It was like, hopefully I'll get on.
So you
Soon
auditioned.
enough.
Now, when they called you to tell you that you had the part,
Well, the funny thing is that the first time I booked it, I was doing Analyze That. And I couldn't do it, which the year before I could have.
Oh, wow.
Which was actually I'm like, wow, now it rains, it pours. I'm working on this movie, Robert De Niro, and I got a role for The Sopranos.
so you
and
would have had more roles? I mean,
I'm not
more
saying that. It was a
episodes or
different
something?
character that
Interesting.
They checked my availability, and I was working on Analyze That, and then I was like, oh, damn. And then the next year, they called me.
So
for
within the year, they called
the
you again
next,
for a
the
different.
next
Were
season.
you a
The
little
next season.
excited when they called you?
I got very excited.
You what?
I mean, who wouldn't want to be on that? I mean, I
mean-
don't.
Yeah, right.
That was every Sunday night. The whole world was zoning in.
Everyone.
I was
I mean, it was
excited
like-
2 big times. One was with Casino, and the other one I was watching the Maury Povich show, and I got the call for Kill the Irishman
Yeah.
with Christopher Walken, Val Kilmer. Wow.
Well, we all know when that phone rings and you get it, it's like amazing because it's just the best feeling in the world.
Which
How
one?
did you feel when they called
Whenever
you?
we book
How did I
roles,
feel?
I
Well,
mean,
well,
it's
actually, when I got the call, the guy says, my name is Jeremy Helmsley. And he says, I speak to Vinny Vella. I said, yes. He says, well, we're doing this movie in Detroit called Kill the Irishman. And I thought it was my friend goofing around on the phone. And we'd like to get you on board. I thought, yeah, all right, fine. Well, why don't you give me a number? I'll call you right back. I got a delivery coming upstairs. I have no delivery. So as soon as I hung up, we Googled him. His name
it
was
was-
Jeremy Helmsley.
That's
And they were
awesome.
already in pre-production in Detroit. So, and when I said, well, what kind of a budget, rather than to say, what kind of pay, say, what's your budget? And then that leads them right into it. And my rate is like this big. And he said, well, it's sort of a low budget. Got Christopher Walken, Val Kilmer, Ray Stevenson, Paul Sorvino. You're telling me that's a low budget. So now my rate's this big. So I thought maybe they were going to try to hit me with something like this. But they said, well, we can only give you that much. I said, well, it's not exactly what I was thinking, but I'll take it, So I wound up in Detroit for 5 weeks. And I played Frankie Brancato.
You had funny scenes. I like when you're walking out and you grab your balls.
Well, that's because, there was a scene in there where the lead guy, His name is Ray Stevenson. He played Danny Green. And I'm Paul coming out of a club with Paul Sorvino, and he goes, "Hey, you know why they call Italians wops?" I said, "Why?" He says, "When you get them and you throw them up and go up against the wall, they go, wop." I said, "Yeah, wop this, you Irish mother, you know." But I won't get into it. And then a lot of other scenes I was in with the white Mercedes and everything else, and then scenes with Vince, what's his name, Vincent D'Onofrio,
Vincent D'Onofrio, yeah.
He was in Goodfellas, wasn't he, Vincent D'Onofrio?
Joey
no,
D'Onofrio.
not that.
Joey
Am I saying his
That's
name
Joey
right?
D'Onofrio.
Joey
Joey
D'Onofrio.
I
D'Onofrio.
got
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
And that was such a great cast, And boy, I was away 5 weeks doing that movie.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Tony
And that-
LoBianco,
that-
too, right? Tony Darrow and Tony LoBianco.
Tony Darrow was there. We won't get into that, but he went there one day. All of a sudden, he got a call. You had to leave. We're not getting into that. That's another story, And
Tony LoBianco, too, right?
I'm sorry, who?
Tony LoBianco.
Tony LoBianco was in there, right? And there was a lot of people in that movie, But for me to get 5 weeks, right there, I was milking it. Between
I'm sure
what I was
you
getting
were.
there, plus overtime. And like when you're on a movie set, I don't know if people notice, but if it's raining, you get what they call wet pay. If you're wearing I swear to God. And if there's smoke around you, they call smoke pay. Night pay if you're shooting at night. If you're wearing,